Hell yeah, let's go.
All right, guys, we are here for another CSM interview. Before we get in there, remember the reason that I'm doing this is so that you, the players, can make informed decisions about the CSM candidates for CSM20 that you can vote for. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about who you fly with, your experience in Eve, and what you do.
Hi, my name is Rose Allari Imahara. I currently am a member of Goon Watha, or what we call affectionately the Waffle House, which is the current um, corp where retirement corp for goons, um, and current director corp where the majority of the directors hang out.
Cool.
I currently am the only, as of this recording, uh, or stream, whichever this may be, as of this recording, streaming, whichever it may be, I am the current only active uh, teacher for university. I teach anywhere from 7 to 25 classes a month on a
Oh, wow.
variety of different subjects. It could be more than that, honestly. Depends on how much time I have. But I teach EU, USTZ, and AU time zone. So I think at this point, I cover a wide time zone base, and I teach a lot of things about how to survive in nullsec, how to do basic Eve things, basic Eve skills, and just how to have some fun in the game.
So, how long have you been playing?
I've been playing at this point. I started July of 2024, so we're
Oh,
just under a year and a half
awesome. So, what has made you decide
in
to
game.
run for the CSM?
There's in recent year in the last year, I saw it and it's like, okay, this is interesting. And then just going through and listening, it's you see more and more Sino vigils every year, and in the last year there have been quite a few. However, you see on Reddit, hey, I'm 7 days in game, and pardon my language, but fuck this game, I'm done, and they rage quit. And you see so many people leaving within the 7 day to 90 day mark.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, maybe I could look at that and maybe provide a little bit of perspective to help keep players in this game and in this sandbox that we call Eve Online.
So, have you come up with a campaign for CSM20?
Kind of. A little bit. I guess my thing is I would like to provide the new player voice on that agenda. Uh it's not a, you know, you go and demand things. It's very much more like a focus group. From my understanding of it, where you kind of go, "Hey CCP, that might be kind of dumb to do. Let me provide you my feedback on that from my perspective, from the people in my community that have talked about, maybe something similar." Um, and I just forgive me as I stumble over my words a little bit,
That's
but
okay.
I would like to just be not necessarily the bridge, given I am fairly. How do I say this? While being in Goons, I am very much. This is a game that we all play. We're all humans outside of this game. We got to take care of each other. So I feel like I can be a very potentially bridge between making parties understand and maybe work together a little bit while also understanding what CCP kind of expects from the people that it works with.
Okay. So, you had cited that you see a lot of players abandon Eve within like the 7 day time frame. What do you think one of the biggest barriers to them undocking and getting involved into Eve is?
I would say 70 to 90. I've heard different numbers. I was talking to a tournament friend of mine. They said 7. I've heard 30. I've heard 60. I've heard all sorts of numbers. And really, it is. This game is such a learning curve. I'm not saying we go and we hand them the tools automatically. However, I think if we equip new players to go up the learning cliff, instead of just leaving them to try and, hey, how do I find a rope? How do I get up here? I think maybe providing them, hey, having Aura say, well, here's some places where you can learn. I know ISD does that, but having the game kind of go, hey, Eve Uni, pointing something out like that. I think maybe, and this is if I was approached about it and asked about it, this would be my feelings on it. Um, I would say, maybe having like a CCP going, hey, we're gonna put a tag on this corp and suggest, hey, Eve Uni, do you want to learn in a place that is non-partisan, for lack of better words? Because we have null blocks and low set gangs and stuff like that. But Eve Uni seems to be pretty balanced, at least
Mm-hmm.
from my experience with them. I would say, maybe have them put like a thing from Aura of, hey, if you're looking to try to find a way to way to play this game, check out Eve Uni, and be able to direct players to a corporation that's fairly non-biased, that has the tools and the experts to be able to teach players. That way, they're not just like, okay, I'm doing missions. This is boring. What do I do?
Right.
Like getting people to do more than just the NPC or the PVE and go, okay, well, is this all that this game is? And teaching them, oh hey, look, there is a group that'll teach you how to do so much more. Or groups or things along those lines where it's like, hey, like this is a recommended newbie corp or something. I don't know. But
So,
being able to point new players into directions of help,
so
I think would be pretty big.
this has not been not suggested before. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, I have suggested this in the past, but how does CCP overcome favoritism? Because you absolutely know that if CCP were to recommend, say, Eve Uni, then another group who
Hmm.
also deals with new players can come by and say, hey, why not me?
Well, what I would say to that is make it like a thing that corps or alliances have to submit, where they have to go provide information and be able to go, here's our subject, here's where our experience is, and have an actual, how do you get this tag, and be able to, that way people who are actually interested can provide the materials, provide the information they have, and maybe, a team member at CCP is dedicated to going, okay, here, this looks like you guys have good material, like it is going through compared to, I don't know what the comparison would be. I don't know if there's anything internal. But being able to go, okay, you're not a scam corp. That seems to be really big, where
Yeah.
newbies tend to join high sec scam corps. They get really frustrated. They also leave. You're not a scam corp. You provide information, you teach, and you meet the criteria. You meet XYZ criteria, for example.
Okay. Now, what role do you think fleets play in player retention?
I would say it depends on the type of fleet. Are we talking small gang? Are we talking nano? Are we talking 1,000 players on a grid? Or are we talking, what size fleet are we talking?
Fleets in general.
Fleets in
Be
general. Okay.
yeah, playing with
Um,
other players.
playing with other players. Okay. I Fleets in general, I would say it can help. Um, I would also say that it can hurt, because if somebody is absolutely dogging on a new player and they have no idea what they're doing and they're just doing a fleet to learn, and somebody just is being, um, I'm gonna, again, pardon my language, is being an absolute dick to them, they're not gonna want to do it. They're gonna go, okay, no, bye, not interested in this part of the game, and that takes more people out of the PvP potential, out of the PvP pool. Um, Now, there are times where you get people who are in fleets and they're like, hey, I have questions. And there are so many people willing to go, here's questions, here's ISK, how can I help you? Let's get you in this game, let's get you to learn and love PvP. And that is really, it's really environment dependent, I would think. If it's a good environment where, there's the support of, hey, we love that you're new, we want you to stay here, let's teach you, let's actually help you. Um, but if it's, some the fleet is just like, you don't belong here, you have no idea what you're doing, and you're new, go away, go learn, don't come over here. Like it's really, it's a balance scale of almost of, it depends on the community.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the community that I've seen with it is very, hey, come here, let me help you. They want to keep those new players in game. I have heard of the opposite side though. But from my personal experience, I've really loved seeing people go, come here, let me help you, here's 100 mil, let's help you, let's make sure this is how you do this, how you do that, and if you have any questions, just ask. And they'll open up a chat, and they'll be ready, and they're kind of mentoring in a sense, which I think really helps with player retention. Um, but there's always that flip side.
Yeah, the mentorship does help with retention. It's called a magic moment or a core memory. So, yeah, players remember that and tend to stick
Yes.
around because of it.
Yes.
So,
Oh, absolutely.
you belong to a corporation that specifically helps new players, and you provide content to them. What kind of tools or features would you wish CCP would add to help you provide content to those players, help you do your job more or less?
I do my job. So mm, you can already make like a third party website or something like that. You can put all that in places for information in the MOTD and things like that. Um, I think the 2D map, honestly, is I'm excited for it. I think that would honestly pretty help pretty much.
Okay.
Um, I wish the, how do I say this? So this might sound really dumb, but when you drone bunny,
Mm-hmm.
there's no way to see how many drones you actually have assigned to you
Oh, that's
until people are
interesting.
telling you, oh, this drone bunny's full, this drone bunny's full, this drone bunny's full. You can't see, oh, I've got 15 drones assigned to me plus my five. Like, you can't see how many you're actually controlling. You can see a cloud, right? But you can't actually see like a number. There's no like
Hmm.
number over
Yeah.
the active drone bar. There's nothing like that. Honestly, I think adding that would be great because drone bunnies are really good for new players. They
Yeah.
hit F, they activate things, and they go. It teaches them how to work with drones in, ways that could be fun, uh, should be fun, like high
Yeah.
second incursions, things like that. Um,
As an incursion
but yeah,
FC,
adding,
yeah, I totally agree with that.
yeah, yeah, but being able to see how many drones am I
Mm,
controlling? I
yep.
just see a ball. Now they've changed it to 25, right? Before it was 50. Even then, it still would have been nice to know how many drones do I have assigned to me. Like there is nowhere, and this is what I've looked at it. I've drone bunnied quite a bit, um, as somebody who does nullsec incursions. Um, there's no button that says how many drones you're actually controlling. There's the auto fire and the uh, those two options, right? But there's no, you have 25 drones assigned to you. There's not even like a parentheses 25 anywhere. So I think honestly that could be really handy.
Yep.
It's such a simple, tiny little feature that could go, hey, come on, we need a drone bunny. You can fly a Tristan. Come hang out. We're gonna go sit on a low sec to high sec gate or something and have some fun. Like, hey, we just need another drone bunny. Like that's an easy way to pull in new players and an easy way to help provide them content
So, what kind of
just by going, hey, we need another person.
what kind of content in general do you think keeps players logging in? And this isn't just new players. This is in general.
General. General events sometimes depending on the rewards of the event, depending how good the event is, depending on if there's like the Doctor Who scarf or something. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Please, CCP, make that available for female characters. Um, um, or but if there's an event that they're like somebody's really excited about, or like, hey, there's a tournament that's hey, I should sub for this, or and go back and play in it, or um hey, there's a big war kicking off. That's when you tend to see most people come back. I've noticed is really, hey, when there are big fights going down.
right?
And yeah. But I
How
think events maybe play a little bit of a part in that though. So,
just out of curiosity, how do new
mhm.
players, say you have like I don't know, a year old player that just happens to join goons within a big war, how do they get to participate?
So now keep in mind this is dependent. Um, in general, corps usually don't recruit during a war. I'm making a general statement. During war, most corps don't tend to recruit because of the potentiality of counterintelligence. Uh, but it's not uncommon to potentially see, returning old players that used to be in corps or things like that. Um, but it is very easy to get them in on field, involved in groups. It is very easy to go, hey, welcome. Here's a ship. What SP do you have? Uh, for example, I can. This might be relevant to the question. Um, for example, I know Eve Uni does this. I know University does this. I'm not sure if Panhorde with Nubians. I don't talk. I haven't talked to uh, their people, so I don't know if they have it. I don't know if Frat has this. I know quite a few of the nullsec blocks have teaching capabilities. However, I know Eve Uni and University, for confirmed fact, we do handouts.
Mm-hmm.
Both groups do handouts of, hey, you're new. We want to be able to get you on field. We want to be able to let you come and have fun and experience the game with us while we're doing something. Here's here's this, here's packs. Here's, oh, you want to learn how to be a logi? Here's this. Or, hey, you want to learn how to do some e-war? Here's a pack. Like, here's a set of like 5 ships. Go have fun. Go and if you blow up, come back and ask for another one. It is very much, we are here to help you. We want you to be engaged. We want you to be able to come and go, hey, I'm having fun doing this, or I'm learning doing this, or hey, I'm struggling doing this. Can maybe I get some help? Or and I know there are tons of helpful people in both groups that I mentioned. Again, not having information on like Frat or Panhorde. I can't. I don't know what their learning setup is. But for both Goons and Eve Uni, I know there are handouts, and for Goons especially, I know there's always people willing to go, hey, answer questions and try to go, hey, how can we help you? Um,
Okay.
it's fantastic.
Now, solo players, we have a lot of them in the game, and
Yeah.
even myself, sometimes I want to just go off and do something by myself without having 50 people wanting to hang with me and talk my ear off.
Yep.
Do you think that we should encourage people who play solo to do more group activities, or just kind of leave them alone?
Honestly, I think solo players have the option to do group activities. If they choose not to, power to them. Like, they can do people can do what they want. If you're a solo player in a null block, now keep in mind if you have null six base, you got to defend it. And that's just a general statement, as we see in Delve and Quirius with the current only fleets and X-Death and that kind of fighting. You see, if you've got the space, you've got to defend it.
Yep.
Um, Now, solo players, I mean, they can choose what group activities they want to do. Um, I do like that the events are semi-solo, personally, mainly as somebody who is when I'm not working, I am pretty much always surrounded by people talking, and it's like, okay, I would like to be alone now. Thank you
Yep.
very much. I'm gonna go drink my coffee and watch my K-pop Demon Hunters and goodbye and disappear. Like I'm gonna go fuck off and do Explo or do whatever the hell I want. Like if there are some times where it's like, okay, I have peopled my last people, and yeah, so I would love to see not necessarily more events. I would like to see some more solo activities though. Like I love the event sites, and I love how the events kind of give the option of, hey, if you want to do this, you can totally do this solo, and you can go like run this whole thing by yourself. Um, they seem to be very not as spaced out, I feel
Right.
like. Just from personal experience, we've got October, December, and then honestly, those are the main two that I really remember. Those are
Yep.
the ones that really stand out to me, is the ones at the end of the year because they're consistent.
Yep.
I would love to see more like like a springtime event, maybe.
So
And then
be,
it's like a summer event. So I'd love to see that.
you are so new that you don't know that we used to have a Easter event, and this is one that
I
would
heard
probably
that, and
get you
that used
so
to be the
excited. Yep.
implant drop, didn't it not?
You,
Yes.
not only was it the implant drop, but they had an event called the Hunt, and it was two parts. The first part, you had to descan
Hmm.
a NPC capsular down to get a key. Then you went into the site and did the
Yeah.
site. But everyone who would be brand new to the game that came in during the hunt became expert descanners.
See, I love that. I
Yeah.
am I have done the tutorial for the Explo side a few times, and personally it's not my favorite. I feel like it could be better done. So having an event like that where like you are forced to descan and you have
Yep.
to do this, or like probe scan and like where you have to, it would make me so happy to see.
Yep. But they used to do semi-regular events. Capsular Day was a big event. Each of the different factions would have their own event, but then they decided to go to this expansion format again. Apparently, they used to do that even before my time, so they've kind of flip flopped.
Hmm.
And now they're back on the
Yeah.
expansions. They just don't have the time to dedicate to the different events, and I want them to incorporate the hunt into something, or at least the descam part, because
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you know how many people don't know how to descan when they're out in space doing stuff.
Oh goodness. A D-scan or just general probe scanning, all the
Mm,
above.
mm-hmm.
The probe scanning tutorial is
Horrible.
in need of some love. Just yeah. Um, everybody's going, it's probably my least favorite part of the tutorial, and I really would love to see it get some love and maybe get a little bit of an update,
It,
just so we can actually teach our new players how to explo and make money on day one and not like die watching YouTube videos and in-game
yep.
videos trying to make it work.
So now we're going to switch our thoughts a little bit. This summer, there was a campaign out in Providence against the Alliance Absolute Order.
Yeah.
We've all heard about it. We've all read about it. We
Hmm.
all know what it's about.
It was a Reddit thing. Yeah.
It was
Yeah, I read that.
definitely a Reddit thing, a YouTube thing, and everything thing. But the
Yeah.
interesting thing about it was the entire Eve community came together to take part of the eviction. It was really a MPSI eviction op, which I've never seen before. So the community took exception
I
to
would.
the toxicity
Mhm.
and decided to get rid of them. Do you think this was a good thing for the community to do? A bad thing? You're neutral. I know goons didn't officially come out like Frat and Init did.
We
I'm
did not.
sure. I'm sure there was people individually that came out, but yeah, like say, you have to have an opinion on this. I'm sure.
I do, and honestly, I don't think I know anybody who did anything. I might, and they might just have not said anything. The closest thing that this reminds me of, And this is going back a little bit, is where the entire game came against goons to try and wipe them from the game. Where we got stuck in Delve and 1DQ Constellation. That's about the closest thing that it comes to mind with me. But honestly, with the Absolute Order, I don't think it's a thing that belongs in the game. I've read some of the things in regards to it. I don't think toxicity has a place in the game. So, um, I have a lovely fur missile who likes to have her opinion be known too. Um, big baby, but man. But yeah, personally, I think it was I don't want to say wholesome because it was an entire group against the rest of the game. However, I don't think that that toxicity and that behavior has a place in Eve. This is a spaceship game.
Yep.
We're here to shoot each other, and bringing in old. The best way I can probably word this is old World War One and Two esque propaganda.
Yep.
I'm trying to figure out the best way to speak so I don't get this muted or anything or in trouble. I would say that that doesn't belong in a spaceship video game. And I'm very surprised that CCP didn't step in.
Yeah, so
And
to be honest, so am I.
And say, you know, hey, this is inappropriate. It could be seen as hate speech in you know, against certain countries' laws. That's why I'm very much like these guys weren't. No, like we didn't. I didn't see anything. I didn't hear anything through my grapevines. I didn't. You know, you didn't. I didn't see anything on Reddit about CCP taking action or anything. No, they wouldn't say, but there would be whispers if something had happened. And I heard no whispers. I heard nothing. And so, personally, I don't think the toxicity should be in the game. I don't think that hate should be in the game. This is a game where we're all here to have fun from our real lives and to sit here and shoot spaceships. Some of us have it as our real lives as streamers. And like it's just not appropriate to bring that kind of hate speech propaganda-esque into the game to me personally.
Yep. Indeed. So we're going to go into a little bit lighter topic now. We're going to go into some CSM specific questions. So
Awesome.
The first one is, if you make it onto the CSM, what other candidate or candidate types do you want to work with?
I would like to work with people who are focused on the health of the game. And not just, you know, oh, my block sent me here. And who now I know there's different block valets. I'm not supported by goons. But I think, you know, CSM is for the health of the entire game, not just for the health of one block. Yes, they're gonna try and sway, you know, one way or the other towards people that they want who maybe have their interests in mind. But I think being able to have somebody who can bridge between those is also super important. So I really think personality-wise, I can work with a large amount of people, with different varieties of people. I used to work in a federal call center and dealing with angry people and yelling people and all sorts of people was kind of what I did. And so just being calm and being able to go, okay, I understand your feelings, friend. What are your feelings and how can we make this work? And just not necessarily being the person that is the pushover, right? I'm not gonna let anybody walk all over me, but I am going to try and say, you know, hey, how can we as a group make the game better, and not like if with the suggestions that CCP provides us, because again, this is like a focus group setting. Personally, I think maybe yourself and I might work pretty well together, having new player information, and experience from both high sec, low sec, and null sec, from the different groups we interact with. I know Dujek and we've worked together on tournaments. So that is there are a few people that I've looked at and I've gone, okay, I feel like I could work me and this person could probably work really well together. And then I've looked at people and I go, okay, I probably could work with this person, and I feel like I could be a good balancing bridge between everybody.
So this kind of segues into another question I have. Um,
Mhm.
the players in general seem to think that CSM are we're going to walk into the CCP's office or join a meeting and say, CCP, you are
And put a
going to do
list of
this.
demands.
Yeah, pretty much. You will do this. You
No.
will.
God,
We,
no.
we suddenly become the developers, which, for anyone listening, is not true. And because of this,
I am
because
the last person.
and because
I'm the
this is
last person you want to touch technology.
and because we are not that type of group that goes in, a lot of players think that we're ineffective as CSM because the changes they want didn't go in, or changes came out that affects their gameplay. How do you think
Yeah.
you will be able to exist within this ecosystem with people saying that you're ineffective, you shouldn't have been on this CSM, so on and so forth, and keep the NDA?
My thing would be the biggest thing that I have heard from both past and just general talking uh, it's what you don't see that where the impact lies, and that's the stuff covered by the NDA. The stuff that does come out usually has CSM hands on it, giving that feedback. So even if somebody goes, "Oh, you're ineffective," I'm like, I am doing my job. I am making the meetings, and I am talking and learning from people. If you have feedback, let me know. Like I would like to hear all sides kind of thing. I'm very I'd rather have all of the information from be it various groups, and it would not I don't think impact me horribly to have to go, it's something I can't talk about. Um what are your what issues do you have and how can I help you with it? In ways that don't break the NDA. Um, and that is, I have had full background checks, full criminal federal background checks, for working for federal call center. Um, I would not. I had to sign an NDA for that, so this would not be my first experience with an NDA. And it would be okay. Well, one that's expired, if it expires, uh, if I'm still playing the game, maybe I'll give you a crumb. But otherwise, I am working. I am doing what I was signed up to do. I am doing what you voted me in for. Um, I cannot. I am just very. I'm very. I like knowing that the boundary is the NDA. I like knowing where the boundary is, and it's comfortable, and I'm not crossing that, and that is staying there. Kind of tism. It is. It is. This is mine. This is where I know it is. I can see it, and it's not being crossed.
So one of the issues that the CSM have been dealing with I feel
Mhm.
has been since the beginning of time at this point. We dealt with it in CSM
Mhm.
18. I know CSM 17 dealt with it, probably 16, 15, 14. I know 20 dealt with it, and we'll probably be dealing with it until 20 or 50. Projection.
Probably.
What are your
Mhm.
feelings on projection, especially long range projection? And do you think CCP has fixed it now with the changes that came out this past expansion, or do you feel that it's still a problem and CCP still needs to do something about it?
Sorry about that.
No,
Um,
no problem.
she, I have teenagers in the other room, and she's like, "Mom's working. Be quiet." Uh-huh. Um, Projection is in like the weapon system, or
No,
Just
projection as far as movement.
clarify. Oh,
So
movement in the
yeah, the
game.
ability to get from point A to point Z in very short time. So a good example of this is goons can they have so many ansiblexes that you guys can move your titans very quickly across the map. And because of this, groups are able to keep more space than they really can live in, but they're able to get from point A to point Z because of the ansiplexes. And that is really where the big bugbear is with people
Yeah.
and space, is that long range projection.
I would say, especially with the new Sov Hub upgrades, they really made it so the more people you have to have more space. At least I feel like with the upgrades and everything, and to take the most advantage of that. Um, I think it could be worked on. I honestly, I am not a Titan owner. I am I am considered a poor in Goonloth. I cannot reach into the couch cushions and pull out 50 bill. I can't reach into the couch cushions and pull out 10 bill. I am, I guess I would say I am closer to of the people than I am of the money. Um, I would say that timers and everything, with timers existing, you can't take Titans through a jump bridge or through an Ansiblex.
Right.
So you still have timers that take everything into account. You still have red and blue timers that you got to wait for, and I think that has been helpful personally. I've dealt with it. It's a pain in the ass. I'm not a fan of timers, which means that it's working. Like if somebody is so fed up and is you're having to make sure, and in general, if you're having to make sure say, hey, I'm in low sec and I need my group to get to another area in faction warfare, and we're using sinos and having timers, like
Okay.
having to manage that and telling your people, hey, maybe is now not a good time to run up those timers. We're going into a different area low sec. We've got something planned. Don't run up your your red timers or whatever, something like that, right? It's very much just turns into time management, which I think is helpful.
Okay.
And it really makes people have to plan and use Dotland and use the jump timers effectively. Because if you don't, you could get stuck with a very long red timer or a very long blue timer, and then you're sitting there. You could be sitting in space for 30 minutes if you do it wrong. Instead of being able to take that extra jump, say you put your Sino in the wrong space, you might be stuck.
Okay. So last question of the interview.
Mhm.
What can you do that nobody else can?
Other than teaching an insane amount of classes a month, um, like I teach more probably than one single Eve Uni person does comparatively. And I've talked to them. I've compared notes. I've talked. They're wonderful. I love them. They're super nice, and they understand. Hey, providing new players the leg up is how to do it. But other than teaching an insane amount of classes, I think I bring empathy to the table. I've also worked with CCP before, and being able to go, okay, hold on a second. Like and to make people stop and think, and I don't know how many times, I don't know, not having been on CSM before, I don't know if any of those CSM meetings turn into arguments or anything like that. I'm assuming with so many different people and so many different groups of the game, things can potentially get heated. And I think being able to remind everybody that, hey, this is a video game. Let's take a breath. Remind each other that we're here for the people playing this game as well as the game. And let's try to work together, and being able to just be not necessarily a calming presence, so to speak, but just being able to uh, bring people back to, what this is about, and being able to go, okay, let's remind ourselves, yes, we're here in a professional capacity. Yes, we're here in a focus group business capacity. This is about, 60,000, however many people are on Tranquility at this point. Um, this is about so many players. How can we work together? And that being able to work together and being able to kind of look at as, hey, we're losing bitter vets too, not just new players. How can we maintain player structure and maintain player value that we currently have, or increase it and keep people in game, because without people playing this game is dead. Like, if we dropped, like right now, if I look live right now, Tranquility is at roughly 24,000 players online. If we lost half of those players, how empty would space be? It'd be pretty fucking empty. Like, now, depending on alts and everything, but like, still, assuming one person has up to like 8 alts or whatever, it's still pretty empty, right? So being able to go, okay, let's remind ourselves that this is a game without adding new players, without adding new sand, which can come in the form of new players. With the amount of Sino vigils that have happened, not just Goon Sino vigils. I'm talking, we've seen Panhorde Sino vigils, we've seen Frat, we saw a test one this weekend during the AT, after an AT match. We've seen several on Reddit. We've seen so many that the player base is not getting any younger. So making sure and improving the game and keeping it so this game stays alive while the player base gets more players in it, kind of important.
Indeed. So, we're down to the final thought. Why should players vote for you?
I would love to be a balancing voice on the CSM. I think being both passionate about the game and yet having the experience of dealing with real life phone centers and federal ones at that, being able to put the passion with the learning and with keeping new players in game, I would really hope that the community would go, hey, you know, if my corp is losing people and we get new people in game, that gives me more people that I can recruit. The more people that join different groups, that join, uh, Jerkosaur, Jerkosaurus Rex, that join Test, that join Panhorde, that join Goons, that join literally everybody in the game, so we can continue to smash spaceships against each other and still have fun. Um, I really hope by being a balancing voice and being a calm voice, calm and reasonable voice on CSM, um, we can, I can put in the ability of, hey, this is what I hear from new players. This is what I hear this is what I hear from new players and even from bitter vets, as I have experience and am in a corp with both. I would really appreciate a vote. Um, but yeah, I just I personally think it would be. I'm looking at the health of the game overall, not just one group or the other. And yes, I'm in Goons, but I'm not backed by Goons. And I am at this point very, very close to just being a balancing agent.
Hey, awesome. Then, how can people get in touch with you if they have questions about this interview?
Yeah, they can reach out on the CSM post, that all CSM people are believe we're required to do those.
Indeed.
I have homework, but it's worth it, you know? You can reach out to me on Twitch at Khaleesi Elisi, Khaleesielesi. Sorry, I had to figure out how to spell my own goddamn name there for a second. I'm tired. um, you can reach out to me through email. Um, Discord, even for the most part, is doable. Might take a little bit of time. Usually, I've got about a 24-hour turnaround on all communication. Uh, while all of this is going on, unless it's like read now emergency kind of thing. Um, but
Okay.
yeah, it's I'm pretty accessible as far as reaching out, or I even have an email if you really would like to reach out through email. Um, it is reachrose.eve@gmail.com.
That's pretty extensive. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming
Yeah.
and interviewing, and best of luck with your campaign.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.